very grey morning. It's quite overcast, but it is dry, even though we have had some rain. And when I go over my wee bridge across the Nettles, grass has just gone absolutely mad the last few days. Although I will share my very pretty red campion. And here in this grass, one of the reasons for not cutting it is that there are just tons of daisies starting to come. A pretty impressive thistle. So these daisies probably will leave just everywhere. There's one almost coming. That's no excuse for not cutting this grass though. We've got some saxifrage there, which is pretty. And then, can't remember the name of this, but it'll have big red brushes on it, so it's quite nice beside the pond. The pond is clean-ish. That's the Alchemilla that always goes mad, and it just covers the pond liner here, so it looks a bit better. So yeah, that's some pondweed that we picked up on a walk that we did locally, and it seems to have taken. There's just 3 really big chandelier primulas, I think they are, and that's another primula. And then we've got some crocosmia coming up here, and some other wee plants that we've put in. Again, another pile of daisies, so hoping that these are going to be really big. Sort of, they're moon daisies essentially. We've got a new Pottentilla here, and that's obviously the solar panels for the pumps, but we're a bit lacking in sun. Got some yellow flag iris here. I don't know whether they'll flower, they haven't yet. Comfrey everywhere. So that's the site of one of our old junk piles there, and we cleared that in autumn, and it's making a comeback, so that's good. Compost's not really working that well, although we do seem to have a pheasant hiding in one of the piles. And I've got the wildlife camera out, which is now filming me. Filming something else. So that's our compost. That's more comfrey. Again, massive piles. They get bigger every year. And that is a pile of branches that we're making to break down a wee bit before we can get rid of them. So this again, there's 2 junk piles here, so they had composted down, which left, when we removed it all, left a really fine, high quality compost, and we've actually put that to seed. So that grass seed obviously, so that's why it's fenced in there to stop the dogs running in it. And this is a run extension for the chickens, so they can help me with a bit of the gardening. Here they all are, looking to see what on earth is going on. So they just hop out of the fence there, and then they've got an extra big bit of grass there. Onions we've got growing here. They're doing okay. And then that's a pile that we made yesterday, which is basically branches and stuff. So we've really tried to open up this tree canopy. It's made quite a difference actually. So we've taken out some of the dead branches, a few more just left. We were so tired last night, we just came in and thought, I'll just do it tomorrow. So that canopy is much lighter now. We've seeded this to grass as well here. Again, that was a big pile, so hopefully that will come back. And this year we planted quite a lot of bulbs. We were given some Camassia bulbs, which are all up now. This is burdock, and lots of it by the looks of it. So here we've got rhubarb and comfrey, loads of comfrey again. And this, it does need weeded, but this is blossom, by the way, in case. Right, sorry I pressed the wrong button. More comfrey, and then this is the Camassia. It's lovely and delicate. I thought it was going to be kind of almost bluebellish, but it's actually much taller spires. That's Delphinium, which is coming up. Now this border is absolutely full of feverfew, which is a herb with a daisy-like flower, but it's got a really strong herby smell. That's a wood anemone, which has actually been really beautiful. We've had lots of flowers from it. More of the Camassia, more of this feverfew. I put in a couple of random tulip bulbs that I didn't know what would happen with them, but they've come up really nicely. That's Delphinium. No, it's not. It's Aquilegia. My bad. We've got a lot of native wildflowers I've been putting in. I can't remember exactly what that one is, but it's coming. So more Camassia. And then I've created, that's rhubarb, I've created a path to go down to the back, because that at the back there is our natural composting area for garden waste. So all the way along this clearing at the back here. Between the border and that is basically I've just sown wildflower mix all the way down there, so hopefully some of that will come. And this is the wall of cow parsley, which is actually very beautiful in the spring, and then once it's finished flowering I'll remove it. Blackcurrants are doing really well this year. There's a whole heap of fruit coming here, and obviously we've got probably 15 blackcurrant bushes here, all doing really, really well. Tons of fruit, which is good. And then behind that we've got a somewhat immense gooseberry, and the fruit on this is again, it's just incredible. There's so much fruit on it, tons and tons of fruit. So that's two enormous bushes there, which actually is probably in need of a trim. So on the corner here, I'm trying out one of these kind of like pocket planter things. So I've got some zinnias in the top, so they're just wee flowers. That's coriander, cilantro. I've got this lettuce in here, so little lamb's lettuce. I don't know whether or not that will come to much. A strawberry here, seems to be doing well. That's calendula, so a kind of orange flower that's actually edible as well. And then nasturtium at the bottom here seems to be doing okay. I don't know what colour the flowers are on them, but it's also edible. So back across here, this is the raised deck. What a mess it is, sorry, it's just covered in junk from various projects. A couple of planters. We've got cilantro there again. This is a lemon balm, which the bees will really like, and that's English winter thyme, which smells really strong. These are zinnias, and that's a cosmos. I don't know which one that is, I lost all my labels, but essentially that's a bit of a sun trap when the sun's out. So that's clematis, which is not doing great. It's okay, but it was flowering when we got it and it hasn't flowered since, but it's doing alright. Right, raspberry, the mint, which is obviously what was under this whole space where this greenhouse sits was just a bed of mint, lovage and fennel. So we managed to get rid of quite a bit of it. There's a wee buddleia in there for the butterflies, and actually I planted a strawberry in there because I had so many strawberry plants, I didn't know what to do with them all. This is yellow loosestrife, so that'll come in big yellow flowers. The blueberry seems to be doing remarkably well. Now it hasn't given us more than a handful of berries in the last few years, but somebody said you can't have one blueberry bush, you have to have two at least. So I bought a friend. Now this little chap is not doing that great. I mean, it's quite small compared to this, but this one seems to be just reveling in its newfound friendship. That's a bramble blackberry bush. That's more loosestrife, because again the loosestrife was growing underneath this greenhouse, and I didn't want it to, all go to waste, so I've put a chunk in a pot there and let that stay, and then there's a whole bunch of it which I've planted down on the mound. Got another random strawberry. That's a random bean, which I don't know what to do with. Sunflowers. So there's also 3 giant sunflowers in there. So just quickly in here, I've got a fly problem in here, so I've put up some of those horrible fly things. So these are all cherry tomato plants. that's a pepper, sweet pepper I think. Behind that, if I go in, I've got a ushikikuri, I think it's called, a squash plant. There, some bigger tomatoes that are doing much better. I've got a couple of random pea plants at the back there, one of which seems to be flowering. They were just left over and I thought I didn't want to waste them. Sweet potatoes. So I'm giving a go to a couple of buckets of sweet potatoes this year, see what happens. Yeah, more tomatoes. So these are a mixture of a cherry tomato and the slightly bigger salad tomato, which I think is called Corazon. That's a kiwi berry plant that James bought. I don't know whether it will ever actually give us a kiwi berry, but you never know. That's our cut and come again salad, which we've had so many salads out of that. And a couple of runner beans. Just some kale seedlings coming up there, so they'll go out into the garden when they're ready. Another squash plant. Here we have a variety of herbs, so we've got lots of different thymes. That's the thyme, that's thyme, that's thyme, that's thyme. We've got a big oregano there, which is doing really well. Sage, which is doing really well. I've got some rosemary, a random strawberry. Got some chamomile, meadowsweet, which is there. Yet another thyme. We've got a big nasturtium. That's a milkmaid variety, I think. It's a curry plant and some more rosemary. And then we've got this enormous, self-seeded, so this is the standard blue borage, which the bees absolutely love. And I do actually have a couple of white borage plants that I have put in there, so hopefully they'll come. Parsley, yep. So I'll head over into this bit now. Okay, so we've got some French beans. They're Blue Lake climbing beans. They're not looking that great, but we'll see how we go. We've got some sweet peas. They seem to be doing quite well. And that's another white borage. Some main crop potato buckets. And then the rest of these potatoes are all first earlies, but they're all different varieties. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 10 buckets there, and then these two as well. I need some weeding done, but that's onions and garlic. We won't go out. Looks a fright. Yeah, strawberries. I've got some leeks that may or may not come to much because one of the dogs dug them up and led on them, but I've rescued some of them. This is Brussels sprouts. I'm not sure what variety they are because I bought them as plant smarts, so I didn't sow them from seed, but they're looking really good. We've got some French breakfast radish that are doing well, and that's some pak choy, which we're using as young salad leaves, so we'll see how they go. Oh dear, sad looking runner beans yet again. I mean, they're still alive, but they don't enjoy the wind, and we are a really windy spot here. That's another ushikikuri, I think I'm saying it right, squash plant. And that is a tire that we rescued from up on top of the moor, and it has got calendula in it. Strawberries, they're all doing really well. Starting to get some blossoms on them now, which is good. And I built this little salad box. So it's basically a raised bed with a hinged lid with wire on it so that I can plant salad in there and not worry that things have been having a nibble. That's onions with a couple of sunflowers attached to that arch so that hopefully they'll grow up there. And on the other side of the arch we've got sweet peas, some cosmos, which I love. Bees love it too. That's a bit of lettuce, random. That's nasturtium. Again, that is the milkmaid variety. This is the Alaska variety, which is a really pretty variegated leaf, which I haven't grown before, but it's nice. So we've got some flowers in there. That's calendula, zinnias and cosmos. Here we've got mixed greens, so there's some spring greens, there's a couple of cabbages, one of them might even be a cauliflower, so it's like a brassica bed. A couple more types of strawberries, more flowers, so that's now. I can't remember what they were called. The dahlias, sorry. I think they are mixed mignon, and then there's some calendula cosmos. A couple of double hollyhocks I put in the back of this bed, so I'm hoping they'll get quite tall. If I've not left it a bit late with them, they'll get tall, so I wanted them at the back of the bed. This is meant to be for onion, but I might use it for something else. Cauliflower, so they're doing pretty well. So we've got some more runner beans, a different variety this time. This is called Firestorm. Again, pretty poor. They haven't enjoyed the cold and they haven't enjoyed the wind. No, not sweet peas. These are actual peas, eating peas. So these are doing pretty well. And they've got a lovely variegated leaf as well. Some blossoms coming out on them. Yes, more nasturtiums. A little bit mad on nasturtium. That's garlic, which I made a faux pas planting that. I planted the whole thing. But I'm going to wait and see what happens to it. Here we have a row of carrot. So that they're just starting to come now. And then beyond that I've got a couple more peas, spring pea plants, and these are mixed. Again, I think they're cabbage, but some of those could be cauliflowers. Random calendula at the end. So that's kind of it. That's what's happening in the Italian there. There will be, I expect. So that's what's happening in the veg garden and the rest of the garden. This is what's happening in the chickens. Yep, they're just chilling out. Put the tarp up to keep the food wet, dry, sorry, because it's absolutely... Oh, we've had so much rain. It's just been awful. It's Rusty. And the girls are all just milling about. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so that's it. Yeah, don't think there's anything else to report. It's all going quite well. Not too behind the times for all the rain and cold weather that we've had. So hopefully we can catch up. We've got some more jobs to do in the coming week. We've got some fencing jobs, projects on. Let's have a tidy up in here, cut the grass between the beds, just generally catch up with the tidying up and the weeding, because obviously with the rain that we've had, the weeds have got a bit bad. So there we go, that's the update for today. If you sat through it, thank you. See you again soon. Bye.